I haven't been on YouTube in so long. There's so many times I've told myself, oh, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna edit this video. I'm gonna edit this video. And then I just don't because other things are more important. If it's something that's not making me money, I'm like, I'm wasting my time. I need to be able to pay my bills. But now I'm like, if I keep saying that, I will keep saying that forever. So I'm back. This is my return. I have a couple of videos that I've been meaning to edit. So those are on my list of things to do, on my content list. I will be bringing those. One of them is my Vancouver vlog. I went to see Beyonce in September. Rolling my eyes because now this is January. That was September 2023. This is January 2024. And I don't feel the same way about her now than I did in September, which makes me very sad. I've been going through it and I've been asking myself, do I even want to post that video? But it makes me sad because I was really happy in the moment. So I'm going to edit it and post it. The other video I've been wanting to work on is one of the groups I'm part of, the Zambian Winnipeg Association. We had a barbecue in July 2023. Haven't edited that video only because there's so many clips I have to look through, and the idea I have for this video, for it to pan out, I need to look through each and every clip and be very intentional and pay so much attention. And every time I sit down and open those clips, I just lose the energy and the zeal and the motivation because I'm like, ew, cringe. And I kept telling everyone, if I don't like this video, you're not going to see it. But I'm saying this now because I do want to edit the video. I looked at some of the clips a couple of weeks ago and I was like, oh, this is so cute. So definitely going to edit that. Those are two videos that I'm editing. And then another one, I did like a few clips of a contract that I was working on. I just did a contract for an art exhibit in my city. I had so much fun. I didn't film a lot. Mostly I wanted to create something as like a video diary for myself to look back on and see the growth and the change from when I started to when I ended. And I think it's a cute idea. It's something I want to post on my LinkedIn because I never know where to post work related things. Whenever I share anything work related on like Twitter, X, I'm like, I don't know. It feels like people are in my business too much. So yeah, that's something I'm editing this week. So those are my three things. And now this video that I've started. Well, this video is going out just like this, just to let you know that I'm working on a vlog of a week in the life of an underemployed 23-year-old. Because listen, let me now tell you my story. Oh, let me just set this down on the tripod. Is that... Ignore all of this. There we go. I had this rebirth in September, because September is my birthday month. So there were so many things I was reconsidering. Yeah, so let's start the story at the beginning. So I graduated from university in October 2022. Damn, it's already 2024. October 19th, 2022, I walked across that stage.
Congratulations. You are now graduates of the University of Manitoba, and you may move your tassel from the right to the left. Tony Natale.
I was not very happy, honestly speaking. I was happy that it was over, but I just didn't feel fulfilled. There's this feeling of fulfillment that everyone with a degree has. I didn't feel it. I don't feel it now. It's like, oh, girl, I'm proud of you. You did the right thing. I'm always telling my friends, when they graduated, I was telling them how proud of them I was because I definitely was proud of them. It's an extremely difficult thing to leave home and make it to the end of your degree in a foreign country. In your own country, it's extremely difficult. When I think about the things going on in Zambia, for example, how people go on strike, how people are always complaining about lecturers, complaining about access to materials, for example. Like, I have no idea what this person is talking about. Things like that, where like you're in class and you don't know what the lecturer is talking about. Like, that's hard. And then now you add on the extra layer of being in a different place where you're worried about your safety and concerned about what comes next. I think in general it's a universal struggle. What comes next is a universal struggle, because back home people are complaining about not being able to find jobs. Here people are complaining about not being able to find jobs. There's no winning. Anyways, so I graduated in October 2022. I remember my last semester, my last conversation I ever had with one of my professors was, "What are you going to do next?" And I said, I have no idea. I told him the things that I was interested in. One of the things being like anti-colonialism, decolonization. I think that's an interesting area of study. But I don't want to go back to school. I'm just not very interested in going back to university right now. Maybe at another point in time. The moment I left uni, even before I left, it was, oh, masters, oh, this or that. Girl, I'm still tired. It's 2024 and I'm still exhausted. Because I feel like it was mentally draining for me for so many reasons. One of them being that I wasn't feeling like I was doing anything fulfilling. When I started university, what was I? When I applied for psychology and economics. Changed my mind. I became a stats econ major. I only picked econ because it's like a sensible degree, and I feel like people that do economics are sensible people. I didn't see myself building a career in economics. Still don't. I think my favorite course was development economics because I liked the conversations that we were having, but it was mostly just fueling my interest in decolonization. And colonialism as a topic. That's something I like to think about. It stresses me out. I'm always like, whoa, what? This is sad and exhausting, but it's something I like to think about, honestly. Anyways, other than that, I got to, what year did I get to? I'm trying to remember what year that was. I think I got to the end of second year. There was a math course that I had to retake. The first time I took it, I couldn't even finish the course because it started off super well. And then I got to like my second midterm and it was so bad. I said, I'm not going to pass this course. Dropped the course, said I take it again. Took it again in a different semester. I went to all the labs and all the classes. I didn't understand what was going on. I failed that course. I didn't get an F. I got a D. But to me, that's the same thing. But I was like, I can't do anything with this grade because I couldn't take any of the other math courses I needed. I couldn't take many of the other stats courses I needed. So I said, I'm not going to spend another year and another couple of $1,000 because of this one math course. Pivoted. I switched to the arts and then I said, interesting. All of the careers in the arts were things that I thought were really interesting because I guess they were very social. So that was something that I liked. I switched to politics because no one was going to pay for me to get an English degree. That's something I would have loved to do because I like writing and I think literature in general is very interesting. My university didn't have but I don't think they had very interesting courses. I feel like journalism would have been something I would have been interested in exploring, something that would have put me in the public relations space, something that would have put me in the communication space. All of that would have been very interesting. But I worked with what I had. I said, if I can't do English, maybe if I do politics, I can find myself in that world in some way. And I didn't know how to get there, but the fact that it was a possibility was enough for me. So that's when I switched to my politics degree. I also realized that I knew nothing about the political climate of this country. And that made me feel unsafe because so many decisions, the fact that I was an international student, everything that was happening, every political decision that was being made, I felt so far removed from. But there were so many things affecting me that were happening. Literally every year there was something. Whether it was healthcare, oh my gosh, healthcare was such a big thing when I was in uni. whether it was healthcare or resources that we had access to, even on like the university campus, I felt like all of those things were political. And I just didn't understand anything about what Canada was like politically. So I said, I am learning about that, but also I can find myself in a space I'm interested in. I'm talking very quickly because I don't want this video to be very long. I'm pretty sure it will be very long. Anyway, that happened, and then that's how Towani got through the last 2 years of her degree. I didn't really specialize in anything politics related because some people specialize in like public administration. Some people's specialty was like, I'm trying to think, political theory. Other people, it was international relations. I just did the very bare minimum to get through university and graduate. And I did it. So when I walked across that stage, I was honestly just happy that I never had to think about being a university student again. I don't want to go back right now. I don't know if I'll ever want to go back, but yeah, no, not interested, not interesting. Anyways, so that happened, and all I was thinking about is what's next? What am I going to do? Because now I have this degree and I don't know what I want to do with it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So I started applying. I actually started applying to jobs long before I graduated university because I didn't want to be out of uni without a job because this place is so expensive to live in. How was I going to afford to live if I didn't have a job? So I had been applying. I've been getting rejections for so long. Like, Lord, how am I still standing? Um, yeah, there was a point when I was straight out of university and I thought, okay, maybe it's going to be better because now I have the degree and they're not just putting blind faith in the possibility of things that I could do. No, rejections and getting ghosted. Those are the only things that happened. To all the people that ghosted me, I've never wished them well. I'm telling you, it's so painful. It's discouraging. It made me feel like I was unhireable. It made me feel like my degree was worthless. Like I spent all this money to be told that I'm a useless person in society. I'm just being honest. So yeah, that's how that felt. I feel like even the people that I was expressing myself to weren't understanding what I was saying because it was, no, just keep applying, no, this, and that. And I wasn't feeling like my woes were being heard. So I felt very, very lonely and very sad. It was exhausting. It's not a nice thing to go through on your own. And then all of my friends were still in uni at the time. So it's like the conversation wasn't sinking in. It's like everyone had their own things that they were dealing with. And that's the thing I'm always thinking about. I'm like, oh, I don't want to bother people because everyone has their own shit that they're dealing with. Excuse my language. But I don't know. Sometimes I think you must bother people. But I don't know. It just felt like it wasn't working. Anyways, all people were saying was, oh, but like you're done with school and that must be nice. Oh, but at least you don't have to think about da 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 da. Yeah, but I had to think about the rest of my life. When I was in uni and I was working, yeah, I was getting money, but I think for the most part what I wanted was the Canadian experience because that's what these people want, is for you to be hireable in their country. And it's hard. Getting your foot in the door is hard. I feel like I really started to understand and value networking this year. Everyone's always telling you, oh, network, oh, network. They make it sound like this super elusive thing and you have to go to networking events. Just talk to people. Just start talking to people. That's what it is. I went to my first networking event in September itself. September really did a lot for me. September was my birth month. So my birthday is September 2nd. I was very happy. I'm always happy around my birthday. I love to age. I love to get a year older. And I sat and thought to myself, like, what do I want this year to look like? And I've been acting towards it very slowly, but still acting towards it. So I went to Vancouver, saw Beyonce, had an amazing time. While I was there, I went to a networking event, and I don't know, whenever I would say it, it was like, oh, why did you come all the way to Vancouver to come to a networking event? It wasn't that I went all the way to Vancouver to go to a networking event. It's that I was in Vancouver and I saw that there was a networking event and I said, why not? Whenever I look for those in Winnipeg particularly, I didn't know how to start or where to start. So, and also the markets are so different here and there. It's an interesting city. I feel like understanding what the job market specifically is like is also something that I didn't realize I had to do. Anyways, um, after that, I had a great time. I met some very interesting people. I was there specifically for digital marketing because that's something I'm interested in. I got my first certification and I said, maybe this is something I'd like to build a career in because I love social media. I think it's a super powerful tool, but I want to learn how to use it and not just like be some guy who thinks they know stuff, you know? So I did my first certification was it with HubSpot? With HubSpot. And then I said, oh, if I keep doing more and learning, I could actually like build a career. But I didn't know who to talk to. And then all of a sudden this pops up. It was serendipitous. I believe in fate. So yeah, I went, I listened. There's this man I met from TELUS who talked about his career progression, and that's what he did in university. But the way he talked about it, he's like, it's not something that you have to do in university, and that made me feel very, very good and very, very more confident actually in the fact that this is something that was attainable. So I thought it was something I would be able to do. There was a point I thought I'd be able to do an apprenticeship, but then real life caught up to me and I had to find a job that was going to be able to pay me money to afford to live. So I just kept putting it on the back burner. And there are people that I know who are studying things and building things and they're like burning the midnight oil. And sometimes I'm like, girl, you need to do that. You need to, fight for the thing that you want. But I've just been exhausted and I've been feeling guilty about it because I'm like, no, those are just excuses. But like, the fact of the matter is that I have been exhausted. Spending all these years applying and applying and never hearing back. That's so heartbreaking. I've been in this ongoing depressive state that it felt like I couldn't get out of because the rest of, I guess, my reality was reflecting the things that I was thinking, the things that I was scared of, which were that I was unhireable. And that's exactly what was happening, is that I wasn't getting hired. At the top of the year, last year, end of 2022 actually, there's a job that I got, job that I'm still working. I never know how to describe what my job is. Like, my job is, I'm an event manager, but I think whenever I say that, people assume I do like weddings and stuff. So I have to like be super intentional in my wording. Yeah, I coordinate a team here in my city. I manage a team and I guess I manage our inventory and our logistics and things like that. But I work super closely with a producer that does all of the back end stuff and a project manager that does all of the back end stuff. I feel like I'm just the guy that's on site pushing the pieces, which it's not a small job. It's just I don't have enough hours because my job only started, I only got this job specifically in March. I started as like a member of staff at the end of 2022, which is a whole story on its own. I might get into it another day, but even the way this job came to me, I'm like so grateful and thankful. But yeah, I've been there for about a year with the company, and then when it gets to March, I'll have been an event manager for a year, which is so fun. I never thought that's who I would be. I've met so many great people that way. I feel like I go to work just to build connections, which I really love because I enjoy talking to people, but mostly I enjoy talking to people that get it. Anyway, what happened after that? So yeah, because this specific job is part-time, I still had to find a job. So in as much as, yeah, I'm employed, I have a contract signed and I work for this company, I need to pay rent, I need to pay for transport, I need to eat. So anytime I was doing something that wasn't related to getting me closer to having a full-time job, I felt like I was wasting time. Hated it, would feel guilty about it. Anyways, so I got a job in March, another part-time job, and I was working two part-time jobs. I was exhausted, sad, And the fact that the job, I knew from the beginning, literally from day one, I knew that I didn't want to be there. Not that it was a bad job, it just wasn't for me. It felt like I was doing so much and not getting compensated enough. Like it wasn't balancing. But also, I just felt like I was in the wrong space. Whenever I expressed this, it was no, maybe there's something you're going to learn. No, this, that, and the other. No, what. But me, I'm the one who was crying in the night, crying in the shower before I have to go to work. Coming back from work, crying because I have to do it again the next day. And the sad part is that I had no tears, so I'm just there dry heaving, which was making me even more frustrated and sad because I'm like, let the tears come out and let me at least just feel relief. But no, didn't happen. So what did I do? Released my job, quit my job in August. I said, I can't do this anymore. I cannot. So quit that job, and then now I was like frantically looking for a job, applying to anything. Also because everyone's like, oh, don't be picky, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds like good sensible advice to just get a job. But also that's how I landed with that job that was making me cry before I go to work. It wasn't that it was a bad job, it just wasn't for me, and I was feeling even less fulfilled. Like it's like, oh yay, now I finally have hours. And I'm pretty sure there are things I could have changed, like making my lifestyle more affordable. But it wasn't something that I could change like that because I've already committed, and now I'm thinking, oh, moving costs. My battery died, so I need to wrap up this story. Anyways, so yeah, I know there are sensible things that I should be doing, like reducing my cost of living. I think I've done that in as many ways as I can. Okay, it's hard to stop taking Ubers, but I try. I take the bus, but a bus pass is so expensive. I miss being a student only because the bus pass was cheaper. But yeah, no. There are things in my life that I've been able to adjust and say, okay, I can live without this, I can live without that. But there are other things where I'm like, I don't want. It's expensive for me to make it cheaper to live. And maybe it's because I've told myself that. But you know what? I also want to takata. I want to be stubborn. I want to have certain things. I don't want to do certain things. And that is my problem. So I only have one option, which is get employed. So anyway, yeah. I don't even remember where in the story I was. Anyways, after I quit my job in August, oh, dumb decision. I was so close to not going to the Beyonce concert because I was like, this money that I'm spending, I can pay rent. Like, why am I doing this? Ended up going. Somehow it worked out. Okay, I was able to pay my rent. Okay, September rent was already paid. It's October and November. I don't know what happened, but somehow I was able to pay my rent. Money from my job. My mom helped me out, and then a very good friend of mine helped me out as well. So I'm thankful. I'm so grateful to God. And then after that, I interviewed for a job, and then I ended up being redirected and then working on this contract that I was currently working on. So I was able to have enough money for me to not worry about rent, even though I was like working all the time, because now I was back to working 2 jobs, which is the thing that was breaking me down at the beginning of the year. Except it was different this time because I enjoy my part-time job. In as much as I don't have enough hours, I love what I do. I love it so much. And then this new contract that I was working on, I had a great time. I loved it. I was sad when it ended. It just ended on Saturday was our last day. Sunday was my last day according to like my contract, and also that's the day I did all of my last things. So today has been day 1 of being back to being underemployed, and yeah, I'm back in the streets, back on Indeed applying for jobs. I hate it so much. I hate Indeed. I hate LinkedIn with a burning passion. I'm so serious about that. And yeah, but I'm back in the streets applying for jobs. I have an interview this week, which is super exciting. Yeah. Anyways, Why did I start this story? Oh, because I want to do a vlog that's a week in the life of an underemployed 23-year-old living in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. So fun. Oh, there's not much that I did today. Today, ooh, I'm hungry. There's not much that I did today. Yesterday, I went to church, came back home, did some very, very light cleaning. I literally just did the dishes, had my food, and was in bed. Today, almost the exact same thing. I had a meeting for work that I took, but that was like in the afternoon. And then I was supposed to have my interview today, but it got moved to later in the week. So I kind of just had the day. Those are like my two things that I had to do outside of my three things, which were my back to my digital marketing course that I'm working on, and then I'm gonna go to the gym, and then I'm gonna clean my bathroom. Those are my three things. So yeah, the last year has been disgusting, so exhausting. I've done things that I didn't know I could do. And by that I mean just sort of persisting in the face of uncertainty. I like to know things. The sort of last video I made before I disappeared from YouTube, where I was super anxious about what would happen next, I've been feeling like that for the last 2 years, more than 2 years, I'm sure, where I've just been like, who's gonna hire me? Who's gonna do this? Who's gonna do that? Who's gonna... So yeah, this last contract was nice because it was nice to have people believe in me. It makes me want to cry. It was nice to have people believe in me and trust in me and say, you know what, do this job. It was nice to have a purpose, to not feel useless in society, like I said, to not feel like everything that I've been doing has been in vain. And yeah, the job that I got in March was also like, it made me not feel like all I was doing all day was just, wake up, back to Indeed, job, apply. I'm so tired of writing cover letters, but I must continue. I have to. But yeah, I'm in a different place now, which is wild. It's wild what a couple of weeks can do. And yeah. Oh, I'm losing track of why I started this story. Anyways, there's not much that happens in my life. I remember even at a time when all I was doing was spending all day applying for jobs and being sad. Someone was like, oh, I can't wait to be like you and do nothing all day. That broke me and made me want to cry. Again, there were no tears, so I couldn't cry. But like I dry heaved and was very sad about it, and that I carried with me for a very long time because I was like, I'm doing nothing all day. That's what I do. Every time I would look at something that wasn't a job application, I was like, I'm doing nothing all day. I'm doing nothing all day. But I think I've accepted that I can't spend every waking moment doing a cover letter and readjusting my resume and sending out applications. I thought how I was applying was ineffective, and I was like, okay, maybe I need to get professional help. But all the good people, it was like, oh, I don't want to pay hundreds of dollars. They're free services, and I should have gone. My mom, last time she was here, was like, oh, have you gone to this place? Oh, have you gone to this place? I hadn't. I really hadn't. And I was like, I'll go. And then I just never did because something came up and then something else came up. So yeah, if I don't get the job that I applied for, not gonna happen. I'm gonna get it. I am, right? If that doesn't happen, then I'll have to use like the employment services. But also the fact that I'm not saying, oh, where is the money going to come from? Means it makes me feel like I'm more intentional when it comes to the jobs that I'm applying to. Yeah, I'm the person that's going to be going to work every day, and I want to enjoy that. I want to love going to work every day. That's my dream. That's all I ask, is that I love going to work every day. I know there are days that work is frustrating and stressful. I've experienced that with every single job that I've had. From like even the volunteer things that I was doing, there were days that were stressful and frustrating. But at the root of it all, I loved what I was doing every day. And that's my bare minimum. That's all I ask. So yeah, week in the life of an underemployed 23-year-old. I say that because I only work part-time. And like the part-time is not even guaranteed hours every week, which that's a scary way to live. So that's something that I'm changing this year. It's sad. I'm probably going to have to say goodbye to my part-time job this year, which I've already been coming to terms with, especially over like the holiday season. So much change happened last year. I don't think I was ready to deal with more change, but life is constantly changing. It's about change. Anyway, I'm probably going to have to say goodbye to that job at some point, but the reason I stay there is because some money is better than no money. I'm not about to quit before I get another job. Also, I'm not about to quit if I don't have to quit. So if there's a way I can do that job and another job and still be sane and still be able to pay my bills, I would do it like that because, again, I enjoy my work. So yeah, after university, all I've been doing is trying to get a job. And I'm so grateful to the friends that I have that I've been going through this process with. I have a friend who always sends me jobs. He's so great for that. And every time I like receive one and send, I'm like, oh, I'm scared, but I'm still gonna apply. I'm so grateful for that because all of the jobs that he sends me, honestly, are things that I'm interested in. And I'm like, it feels nice for somebody to see you. It feels nice to be seen. I have a friend that recently graduated and we were going through this process of applying for jobs together. And it was so nice to not feel so alone. It was really, really nice because it's something that I felt like it's just me carrying this burden of being unemployed, but it's nice to have people to like express your frustrations with and have people that get it. And even when work is being stressful and being frustrating, to be able to have someone to like vent to, that's been so nice without, because like I'd be saying, oh, here I am complaining about this and this, and this person has something due at 11:59. Yeah, I don't know. I've also gotten out of the space where I'm telling myself that my problems don't need to be heard. So that's also been a fun realization after uni. Navigating it when you and your friends are in different stages of life is it's not for the weak, just saying. I feel like, yeah, even the conversations I'd be having with my friends, it was like more people need to talk about these things. I have friends back home and like we'd be talking about, oh, finding a job, da 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 da. People are paying peanuts. Like the amounts of money that people are receiving are only enough to cover transport. And it's like, that is a problem. And when I hear things like that, I'm like, do I want to go back and only be able to afford going to work? I've done that here. I didn't like it. I'm not going to like it there. So yeah, things like that. But it's also adulting at the same time because now I'm no longer a student. I feel like there's a certain level of protection that comes with being a student in that, yeah, you're an adult, but you're still protected by that title. Outside of that, you're not just living. There isn't a guide for how to do that. And it's not nice. These people were lying. No, grow up when you go to school and then you start working. Because now I have to decide, okay, are these still my values? Okay, how do I want to live? Okay, what does being responsible mean? Okay, that I'm taking care of myself. What does that mean? Anyways, so yeah, long video, TMI maybe, but basically I'm coming back to YouTube this year. And yeah, the next video is going to be a week in the life of me. because someone that I worked with recently was like, I think your life is really cool. And I was like, thanks for that. So yeah, a week in the life of somebody who doesn't work the corporate 9 to 5. I don't have an okay, I do have an email signature, but I don't have like an out of office message. I don't have like what's it called, the water cooler talk. I don't have like the traditional wears a suit and goes into the office on Monday and TGIF, oh, it's Friday. That's not the kind of life I live. I don't even relate to all of those like work memes. I feel like I don't have a place for the longest time actually. Now I feel like I kind of have a place, which is a floater. I'm floating. But like last year I was so worried that I didn't have a specific place, that all of the resources I tried to use were not tailored to someone like me. There was something that I thought would be really helpful. Monday Girl. I think it's called Monday Girl. And I started following them, but I couldn't relate to anything that they were posting about. And then also joining them in order to network, I had to have a corporate career. So I was like, already there's a barrier to networking like that. Oh, I forgot that I was talking about networking in Vancouver. I went to that networking event and met some people, and I realized it's just talking to people. Came back to Winnipeg in October. I went to a content creator networking event. That I loved a lot because that's something I want to be, as a content creator. But I didn't feel like I was in the right city for it, honestly speaking. Because it feels like you have to live in Toronto for you to be like a serious content creator in this country. But I'm not about to move there. We're gonna talk about that. I've been, but like, it's so expensive. That's the thing that scares me. I would not move there unless I had money. I'm so serious, because every time I watch a video about rent, here I'm crying. There, what am I going to do? Anyway, yeah, this was a lot of things. Just sort of like a catch-up video, I guess. So, see you soon. Happy whatever day of the week it is. And yeah.